Good morning, everyone. And I'm sorry if I talked very faintly. It's actually kind of early in the morning. It's 7 o'clock. And because yesterday I got to see Captain America: Civil War, and I'm very excited and very, very happy to give you my review on it. And I'm not going to do a spoiler review of this because, A, it's redundant. B, A, everyone is doing it, and B, therefore it would be more redundant if I did it. And C, I feel like I would add nothing to do it. I had nothing else to say to it, aside from just the general movie as a whole. But yeah, Captain America: Civil War is definitely for me, and for a lot of other people, one of the most anticipated movies of the year. And it really did kick this into spades. This movie is freaking phenomenal. It seriously is. I'm not joking, I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating. Am I a fanboy, you may ask? Hell yeah, I'm proud to say this is definitely one of my top 10 favorite franchises ever. And to me, this is the best superhero movie since the first Avengers, in my opinion. It is just a phenomenal film. Alright, what's the story, you may ask? Well, essentially, looking over the past of disasters in Slovakia and in Washington, D.C. and New York, like what happened in Age of Ultron and Winter Soldier, and in the first Avengers, basically William Hurt's character is like, alright, we need the government and the UN want to put the Avengers under focus, under our protection. And they say, essentially, the Avengers, they become our property. We're keeping you guys in check. And Iron Man is kind of like, maybe we should be put in check. Maybe there's some things we aren't capable of. And Iron Man is essentially like, maybe we should be monitored. A bit, we should be more focused on. But Captain America's like, no, we can't just bat away for something like that, something like a fight or something like that. If I see something go, like how he says in the trailer, if something goes south, I just can't walk away from it. It's like he has a duty to fight no matter what. And he has a big paranoid trust. I wouldn't say trust, but a complete anti-trust of the government, because he sees the government in a way that they're hiding behind a shield, which is actually very ironic the way I just said that. Because, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and ergo, of course, S.H.I.E.L.D. as a company, and they're behind the S.H.I.E.L.D., so it makes sense, really. And that's essentially, not just that, but the movie goes along and it unfolds a part of the past of Winter Soldier, played once again by Sebastian Stan in this film. And it really just keeps a great narrative focus on him, but how the Avengers are tackling him, but how the Avengers are tackling themselves, and how the government is having their own plans, and how Captain America and Iron Man have their own stories to behold of each other, and how they view each other, and how what's going on. But not just all that. They're introducing two new characters, one we've never seen before in a live-action movie, and another character who we've seen two editions of before. So yeah, this movie has a lot on its plate, and I'm going to say this movie does what Batman v Superman and The Amazing Spider-Man 2, those two movies should have done. It does this all. It has so much on its platter. It doesn't matter if there's so much. What really matters is that how it all falls into place in the end. And in my opinion, this movie does it within brilliant spades. I adored this movie. I was constantly entertained. The action is beyond phenomenal. It really is. And that, this big anticipation build-up action scene at the airport in this movie is easily one of the best action movie scenes you'll ever see within the last few years. It seriously is a phenomenal ride, and action is consistently amazing. The way they introduce new characters is brilliant. The way they introduce Black Panther into this is really interesting, really, really well done. The actor Chadwick Boseman, Yeah, that's it. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's it. Like, he is phenomenal. I love the real gut-wrenching desire and passion that he has to end the Winter Soldier, and you really do feel that as well. And the way Tom Holland portrays Spider-Man, I think is phenomenal. He may just be, honestly, even though we haven't seen too much of him, he may just be my favorite Spider-Man. I'm gonna straight to say he may just be my favorite, even though we've only seen so much of him in this movie. And when I say so much, I mean he's in it for a good 10 minutes, I'd say, as a whole. But you know what? He definitely made every scene count. The acting from everyone as we already seen before, like Elizabeth Olsen, Robert Downey Jr., Paul Bettany, Chris Evans, all these other actors we've seen before, they all give a great job. We also have the villain, or like the overall nemesis, or the overall antagonist of the film, played by, I forgot his name again. Not the actor's name, that character's name. Played by the always amazing Martin Freeman. Yeah, and he also gives a good performance. But not just all that. The way they write, the writing, the directing are definitely so superb. Now, I will say, as you know, I'll talk about the negatives. Oh god, my voice is cracking. I'm sorry. Again, just the writing is so superb. The way they wove in and out with the main focus of the story, but also knowing how to split off into certain sections, like with the government side perspective thing, and how they cover up with the Winter Soldier, and how they wove is the Winter Soldier to blame of certain things that happen, essentially, of what essentially unfolds within the film as a whole. And I think it's like a really interesting and so engaging and consistent level that you're never entertained. I saw this movie with a really, really great friend of mine, and he said to me that he was bored at scenes. You know, he's my best friend. I love him to death. I respect him for saying that, but I completely disagree. Because even those slow moments, I thought those were great, because you still get to see those character moments. They took it slow. They allowed, not only were they slow, they allowed you to breathe, but they always felt this world was more compelling than it ever was before, making it that touch more realistic to it. And yet you could find that very much relevant with our own government today, despite where you live, really, because that's a huge factor, of course. What else to say? Oh my god. If you had to ask me, like, what character do I like more of an introduction? Black Panther or Spider-Man? I think I like the character of Spider-Man more in this movie, but I like the performance more by Chadwick Boseman, because I feel like we've gotten more of him, and we got to see more of him in this movie than Spider-Man. Although I will say, it was a lot more of even though I'm more of a fan of Spider-Man, it doesn't mean anything to take away from Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther, because again, he's superb, he's phenomenal in this movie, and he's so amazing. They both seriously are, and they both blew my mind, really. And what else to say, man? There's so much freaking things to say about this film. Okay. Oh yes, the way they go before the way they conduct any other side storylines into the big overall picture of the film really fits well. And the way they introduce characters and the way they leave characters out in the end, so that they can wrap up their own needed story, is done so beautifully well. Seriously, the writing itself is so good. I think it's Oscar worthy. It really is. At this point, I'm very much smoking this film like a joint. Seriously, I am just adoring this, and people may think, oh my god, you're so predictable, you're an MCU fanboy. Well, so what if I am? You're probably a fan of something as well, aren't you? Makes perfect sense to me. But whatever. And in the end, you may ask me, is there any negatives? Is there anything you have problems with? Well, I will say, just like with last year's Pennington, the villain is good, but you want to say to yourself, is a villain really necessary? Is it really feed into the overall picture of what's going on? Do you really think the villain is that much needed? And I will say, while he is portrayed greatly by Martin Freeman, I do overall question him in this film. Like, do you really need your existence in this film? Like, they could have shown us his character in the next film, and I would have felt nothing. And without him being in this film, and I would be like, oh, okay, cool. So I really do kind of question him as a whole, even though I do think he was good. And I will say, some of the editing, as much as I love the action scenes, some of the editing and the cuts for certain action scenes may seem a bit too jarring. Like, it felt too much like a Jason Bourne action movie to me, at least. Like, because I'm not a fan of the Jason Bourne movies, really, because I think the editing in those films are a nightmare, in my opinion. I'm just like, what? But in the end, I really do love this movie. My only slight problem is, I kind of do question the existence of the villain, and some of the editing with the action scenes, I think, is a bit too jarring for me. So, but it's like, eventually you do get used to action. So even with my cons, is like, as the film goes along, I kind of get used to it. So really, I really have, by the 1 hour point, I really had no problems with the film at all in the end. And in the end, Civil War blew my freaking socks off. It's one of the best superhero movies in recent years, and I give a Captain America Civil War, in my opinion, a 100%. That's my rating, everyone. I really do hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching as always, and stick around for more videos in the future. Till then, I'm Jack Newton, and I'm signing off. Bye.